Hello, welcome everybody. There we go. Welcome to Spirit Coaching Astrology. I am your Western Tropical Astrologer, Priscilla, and this is a reading for Gemini Rising, Sun and or Moon, but specifically for the Rising sign, as I do all of my readings per the whole house system and your Rising sign. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you may do so at my website at spiritcoachingastrology.com, and the link is in the description box below. Those are more personalized readings. So you can go ahead and be distinctive on what it is that you are looking for. If you like this reading, please go ahead and like, subscribe, share, comment, any of those things, so that more Cancer risings, Sun and or Moon, can filter through their YouTube so they can see this reading. With that being said, let's go ahead and begin. Gemini, so what an eventful year or two it's been for you, right? You guys have had the North Node in your first house, Gemini rising, and so it's been a lot of changes for you guys for the last 3-4 years. And in the direction of life that you seem to be going in. The South Node was in your 7th house, in your house of partnerships. So there's been a lot of going back through past events, and fundamentally working through past connections to establish yourself. And now we're shifting into a new direction, Gemini. So Mars has been sitting in your partnership sector in your 7th house since I believe November. And so you've been feeling the need for more action in your partnerships, in your close partnerships, or your contractual agreements, whether they're business contracts, on one-on-one contracts with bosses, coworkers, but mainly in your personal life with maybe a best friend, or a partner, a marriage partner, or boyfriend and girlfriend in your relationships. This is very one-on-one. 11th house is more so your friendships and the collective community, and your 7th house is more your one-on-one partnerships. So there's been a lot of passion and a lot of drive in this area of your life for you. They might be seeing a lot of action in this area too. A lot more past life friends coming in, people from the past coming into your life. You might be connecting more so with males, Gemini rising, as well, as Mars rules males. There's also could be a lot of quarrels in the last 2 months in your partnership life, in your one-on-one relationships with the people that are close to you, because Mars is anger as well, and it's disputes. It is war like energy. So there could have been a lot of misunderstandings in this area, especially in the late 2 weeks in the shadow period, that because Mercury did go retrograde in your 9th house as of Friday, yesterday. So there could have been some limitations here and restrictions as far as in your 9th house in spirituality, into higher learning, or even you disciplining yourself more so to get into a state of mind of learning, expanding your learning or expanding your spirituality, maybe gaining some wisdom here or some maturity in this area of your life. And at this moment, maybe you're going to go back and revise all these things and really assess if this is what is for you, or if this is the path and the direction of life that you should be going in, Gemini. So another thing for you that was fundamentally very distinct is that on December 29th, Jupiter entered into your 10th house of career, and the way that your reputation in the world. It's been a little bit foggy for you since Neptune has been sitting in this house for you for a while now, and it's been making things a little bit deceptive. It could have also been maybe romanticizing this direction that you have been fantasizing about, or even dreams that you've been wanting to fundamentally make into reality for you, in the career front. And so it's been a little bit hazy, but with Jupiter entering into your 10th house, this could fundamentally expand this need for you even more, or it could really bring some blessings or some abundance in this area for you, Gemini rising. So if you see some maybe some more money, a raise, or something of that nature, or even expanding a little bit in your career life, or even traveling, because Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, and it rules over traveling and distant foreign travels, and you have your Sagittarius in your 7th house. So this could be partnering with someone in your career front on a contract that allows you to travel into foreign places or foreign countries, or with your work, or even hit different foreign countries, or even utilizing the internet to expand more so with spirituality, with foreigners. But nonetheless, this is a very, for you, this change or this energy that is coming into focus for you that needs to change is going to bring a sense of connection more so with spirituality as well. Because it's almost like a Gemini, you've been dealing with, you know, making sense of what is real, what is it, or what is real to you, what is your fundamental truth, because the ninth house is about philosophical truths, what rings true to you on a more personal level versus on a collective level, or even you know, not following religious dogmas anymore, or breaking these old outdated habits, or even just grounding yourself and disciplining yourself in a different belief system. Gemini rising, sun and moon, it's been a lot of energy around that. And now with Mercury going retrograde in this ninth house for you, it could really bring some miscommunications, or it can like really mess up the scheduling for your traveling. If you are traveling for work, there might be some hiccups in this area. They will like work themselves out once we get into the first week of February, when Mercury does decide to go direct, and on the 3rd of February. However, but in the meantime, this is a good time to go back and look through these contracts and make sure this is something that you want to take on, that will be benefiting for you on a, not just a spiritual level, but on a, you know, on a a travel level. And for you, Gemini rising, traveling is very like it hits your heart. This is something that you love so much. Even local travel is something you just like to get around and get busy and move around in the collective community and reach out with people and meet new people and meet foreigners and learn different cultures. Like this is your heart space. It is in your 3rd house. Leo is sitting there in your 3rd house. So this is your heart center. So, connecting with others in your local community and short travels is something very, very much that's close to you, to your heart. But now we are looking to expand a little bit more out on a more grandiose level, like hitting foreign cultures, connecting with foreign cultures and foreign people and different cultures, or spirituality, looking into different spiritualities that is not necessarily the Western theme that you're so used to, maybe reaching out into the Eastern type of world in spirituality or health or medicine. This is very much a theme for you right now at the moment, Gemini rising. So another thing to really look at is like the full moon on Monday is going to happen in your 2nd house of finances. So this is going to highlight your emotional connections to your finances. And it's also going to highlight, how you share resources with maybe females or women that are around you, and because Venus is retrograde in your 8th house of shared resources and psychological and deep connections, and so it's a highlight here with women since Venus is retrograde there. And transforming this energy, whether it's for good or if it might, even if it feels good or bad, it's not for that. It's for a lesson. It's for transformation. It's for change, and this is for positive change, even if it could feel really heavy because Pluto is there, and Pluto can make things feel really dark and very fearful. You might not even like understand why these changes need to happen, but it's because it needs to serve you on a more financial level. So, Pluto could make it a power struggle here, where you might want to hold on to these resources, but these are not, they are not benefiting you on a more spiritual level. So these things might come to an end for you, or like if you had anything with joint taxes, if you're married with a partner and now you're like going through a separation or a divorce, because Mars is hitting in your 7th house. So there could be some, energy moving towards like finalizing these contracts. If you are divorcing a partner, or if you are trying to tie the knot in these, these work contracts or contracts on a personal level with people one-on-one, or even in a relationship. A lot of you Geminis, you can be like having breakups, major breakups, that were limiting you before. And even if they might feel like polarizing, like you're like, what is going on? Like, because everybody's kind of in limbo right now. It is going to benefit your, your financial situation. So the emotional connection that you have with said people could be more so on a financial level, not even as deep as you thought. It couldn't have been so as profound. So letting go of these things in order to bring in the new is something that, you could be nervous about, Gemini rising, because you do deal with a lot of nervousness, but again, on the 18th, we have Uranus going direct, which will take some of the edge off of this unpredictable energy that you've been having on your, on a subconscious level that's been hidden from you, or that has been ultimately just making you feel like you've been isolated. Some of you have been really, really isolated with Uranus in your 12th house, and giving you a sense of like unpredictable fear, and like really shaking up your foundation and your structure, and what makes you feel stable in your life, like money again, and partnerships, and where these restrictions have been in your ninth house with your higher the higher realms of connecting with like a higher or more broader way of seeing things in your life and moving forward. Because Aquarius is innovation, it's moving forward, it's progression, it's in your ninth house. And that natally is ruled by Sagittarius, of, just moving ahead and aiming towards your goals. This energy might have been feeling really restricted. You might been like not being able to aim towards that on a faster level. Saturn has been kind of slowing down the energy for you there, but it has been making you work diligently towards these things, so you're not skipping steps, so that you are getting into a place in your life where their next phase of life, when these nodes move into your your 12th house and into your because the nodes are moving, they're moving out of your first house and your 7th house of partnerships and self into your 12th house and your 6th house with, your subconscious and your conscious mind, working with, how you work with others with a South Node in Scorpio in your 6th house, and how you service others also, versus how this energy is going to serve you on a psychological level, and with your fears and your hidden issues, as far as your, the deep things that you think about on or that you don't recognize, that you think about on a subconscious level, that show up in your life, on your day-to-day life. And so another interesting thing here is that when Uranus decides to go direct, like I said, the nodes will be moving into Taurus and Scorpio on the same day. So you will have a new direction in life. And possibly any of restrictions that you've been feeling are going to find its way resolving itself now, in this year, but they will open up a window here in this month of January for you. Issues around relationships and love and connections with one-on-one people that are really close to you will find a little bit of healing towards the end of the month on January 29th, when Venus goes direct. Keep in mind, it will be in its shadow period till about March. So the themes from like November, December, January, February, March into March will finally find its way to have a little bit more balance. You will have more clarity, more information around these things. If you've been trying to find a way to communicate with someone from your past, or maybe just fix some things that you feel that you need to fix, this is going to really, the next 18 months is going to allow you to put back into alignment these things that have been shook up ever since the pandemic, or even right before the pandemic. There's been some things brewing for you, Gemini rising. Let's see. So with Venus in retrograde in your 8th house, it rules your 5th house of like love and pleasure and children and things of leisure and fun and excitement and just really pleasures. And so this area has been highlighted for you for the last month. You're almost like desiring to have more pleasure in your life, or even like, just have, a 5th house can deal with sex. So there might be a highlight with not having enough sex with, or wanting to have more sex. And Taurus in your 12th house again is how you might, because Taurus is about the things that we love on a material level, and on a, it's on a money level as well. So, you could be having a whole new way of transforming how you see money, or how you share your resources with other people that you love, or there could be just a whole shift in what you actually find value to you, because Venus is all about values. So your 5th house is ruled by, your Libra house of communication and valuing, and how you communicate what you value, and what you find pleasure in, what you find fun in, as well as in your 12th house Taurus, it's about your physical values and your gains, your material gains, and your structure and your stability and your finances. So all of this can be revised now. And with Mercury going in retrograde, you're going to go back and look at how they fundamentally on a spiritual level feed you and help you grow, because Aquarius is all about innovating. It's all about moving forward. And this is your 9th house. And it's all about trying to grow and progress in life on the right path where it's harmonizing with everybody, because Aquarius is about fairness. And this is your 9th house. You want to spiritually be fair with everyone that you have connections with. A Gemini rising, you might have a lot of connections, a lot of contracts with so many people. You are a busybody. Let's be real. Gemini and Sag energy is the axes of like commitment and not committal, or should I commit? Should I not commit? It's immutable energy. It's about, is this right for me? And you really second guessing and really just being wishy-washy a lot with connections and commitment. And this is really fundamentally was hitting your 1st house and your 7th house of self and partnership. So, it was really, really like a push and pull for the last 2 years for you, Gemini rising, about what fundamentally serves the purpose in your life and what brings out happiness for you, what brings out values to you, and what is your path. Because a lot of everybody on a collective scale, all 12 signs, we've all been feeling like, what is next? Like, a lot of things have been in limbo, but you're going to have some clarity now when the nodes move into your 12th and your 6th house. But keep in mind, this is the house of mental health. So, and health as well, the 6th house, and 12th is mental health. So you will be dealing with, and on a physical, because the 6th house is physical health, and your 12th house is on a spiritual level. Okay. It's your mental health on a spiritual level, your psychological health or health. So these are going to be some highlights for you for the next 18 months. The universe is asking you to really work through your anxieties and your mental health issues and your physical health. You have to really keep a close contact there, especially with your physical health, Gemini rising, because Scorpio is all things hidden, and it's in your 6th house of health. So there could be something here with South Node sitting there that will come up for you that has been hidden from you for a while. South Node is also hidden energy. It is the past life energy. It is things that we are familiar with that we bring over from another incantation. So it could be some things that are being brought over from another incantation that are highlighting how they're affecting your psychological health and your left and right brain, window, how you go back and forth from your spiritual and your physical versus your left brain, your right brain, versus your spirit and the your ego. You're going to have to learn to work through these things, and there's going to be a lot of transformations in this area for you, Gemini, in order to face some a better way of looking at things, a better path for you, and to really just get on with growing, because you've been restricted, you've been limited in this area for you. It's almost a lot of you Gemini risings, if you believe in God, you might even been feeling like you've been not connecting enough or being able to connect with your spirit guides, like almost like there's been a restriction there, especially with this square. Right now there's a heavy square from Saturn and Uranus, from your 9th and your 12th house, and your 9th house again is higher learning. It's higher octave of spirituality, and your 12th is also connecting with the divine and the unseen. And so there's been some tension here, because it wants you to work on these things. It wants you to connect on a more spiritual level versus the 3D. Or even on a logical level. There's some things that with Gemini, it's an air sign, so it really utilizes logic on a very profound level, and how they communicate their ideals out, right? So on a more tangible physical level now, when the nodes move, they your spirit guides are going to want you to really work through those things that have been hidden from you and limiting you to be able to have better connections with others and to really connect better on a spiritual level, Gemini rising. So that was deep. Let's go to your Aries house, is 11th house. So in your 11th house, it's the house of dreams, hopes, aspirations, and friends, and the collective community. So you might have been really dealing too here, with Chiron sitting there at 8 degrees with some childhood wounds that have been showing up for you with your friends, and your dreams, hopes, and aspirations, almost like you had to have a detour in your goals. Like you were on the right path and then something detoured and like really restricted you from attaining these things. And now like the universe wants you to go back and go through them and make sure this is the same type of things that you now want, now that you have went through this metamorphosis. And this like this purging of your spirit. And it's going to, Chiron here, it's been like, you've been losing a lot of friends. You've been really being reflected on as a mirror with friends and really getting hurt by friends, but it's really just to have you go within and look at the things that are hidden from you in your 12th house, especially with Uranus sitting here. There's been some chaos and some unpredictable things with how you structure your emotions and your spiritual connection and your depth to the universe and your spirit guides. So just know that there is some clarity coming in for you. There is some expansion coming in for you for career. Finances are going to be highlighted here. Money is going to be highlighted here. It's going to be a little bit bumpy this week. It's going to be really harsh for most of us, Gemini rising. But this, after we get out of this week and we move closer into the end of the month and into February, there's going to be a lot more clarity for you on the direction of life that you need to go to, what type of career you should be choosing for yourself. Let's see. There'll be more clarity with partnerships and contracts that you make with close partnerships. And your personal love relationships will get some mending here and some clarity. So I hope this helps, Gemini rising, sun and moon. If this did not resonate, please go check your moon signs and your sun signs on this channel. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment, share, anything to help the algorithms to reach more Geminis so we can get everybody some assistance out here. And I appreciate you being here. Again, if you would like a personal reading, you can book with me at the link in the description box below at spiritcoachingastrology.com. And yeah, I am your Western tropical astrologer, Priscilla. So thank you for being here. And I hope to see you next month for your February 2022 reading, Gemini.